My name's MoneyMitch26, and I want to introduce my next guest on Top of the Pop. This is one of the most dedicated players I've come across in this game, one of the most positive people in this game, and one of the most natural leaders, most natural leadership tendencies I've come across. He's everything that you want in a player, especially a captain. And this player is so committed that they broke their right hand and didn't stop playing. They carried on playing and just learned to hit long shots with their offhand. Like, who does that? All the way from North America. We have Viperphobia. Let's get into it. My name is MoneyMitch26. This is Top of the Pop. Top of the Pop, episode 5, I think. This is the 5th one I'm doing. We have Viperphobia. You want to give a little wave to the camera?
Hey. How's it going, guys?
So we hung out quite a bit on a weekend, didn't we?
We did. It was an exciting weekend, too. We did off with the tournament. It was nice, exciting. Got together for a little bit. Played it off. It's a nice little tourney that we had. We gave it our all. I had a lot of fun in it.
Yeah. And were you in the... So just for context, this was the Charity Cup. Tyro Charity Cup 2. And this is where I met you. I hadn't heard of you before, Viper. Obviously, like, completely different region, so it's rare for me to know US. But just generally, because I don't follow it that well, I'll be honest. I'm quite bad for that. I mean, I know, like Jay Walker, Khan, those kind of players. I hear of them. There's been times when I'd, like, watch those old Ignite games, but generally, I don't really know what's going on. Like, Master tier, Diamond tier. I'm sure there's loads of really talented players. And you appear to be one of them. Playing with you on the weekend, like, phenomenal.
Aw, thank you.
You stepped us as captain and you led us well. Annoyingly, we didn't quite get it, but there was some good competition out there.
Competition, good fun, good challenge, you know?
Yeah,
Get to always play
it was
around.
a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, how long you been playing for?
Been playing for almost over a year already. Started with my friend, he invited me over. We're building his PC. And then he said, hey, I got this headset. It was a CV1. And I was, do you want to try it out? And I was kind of skeptical at first. I was like, it's fine. And then he like forced me into it after multiple attempts of me asking, like begging, like, try it, man. It's like the best thing ever. This thing called VR, blow your mind. And then I was like, fine, I'll try it. I put on the headset, adjusted it. And the first game that I ever played was this story called Lone Echo 2, or Lone Echo.
Lone Echo, first one.
And wow, I was just like blown away about the visuals, the game mechanics, and how the story unfolded too. I only got a little snippet of it, but after that, man, I was hooked. I was hooked in VR. And then luckily, it was around that time whenever the Quest 1 came out. And some time passed, and then I finally convinced myself, I'm going to get myself a Quest 1. And it was by the end of its end life cycle, but when I got it, and I got into Echo, man, what a game. Truly exciting game.
Was Echo one of the first games you were playing?
Echo was one of a few that I played before. Beat Saber, obviously, popular one to play. But any other game that I always choose, I always come back to this one. And it's, I guess, the replayability of it. Always like, every game that you go into is something different. Every game, there's some new way you learn, some new way to approach the game, approach the goal, approach the offense, be on a defense. There's so many ways to, go about this game, and it's awesome what the devs have created here for Echo Arena.
And there's a big difference between playing this game and just going into pubs, public games.
For sure.
Getting to your level 50. And then there's a whole different world, which is this competitive scene. Competitive world where people live in Discord communities in the day, and then they live in the arena at night. It's a real, like, it's like another level to involvement within the community. There's a game that you play like maybe once a week. Oh yeah, I'll play a bit of VR. Oh yeah, this Echo game. Let me just jump in here. Oh, this is fun. And then there's, I'm going to go train. I'm training tonight.
Exactly.
I've got 2 hours of training. It's a very different, like, experience of the game, right? How was that, like, for you? Did it just kind of happen overnight, or?
Oh man, like the first 2 weeks of Echo, me getting into Echo, I didn't sleep. I was on it 24/7. Like, I still am. Like, over a year later, I still addicted. Still very addicted to the game. And just like you said though, like yeah, you think like reaching that 50, and it's like, oh, I'll get tired of it later. Once I get 50, there's gonna be nothing to do. But no, no, that's just the stepping stone. The stepping stone. And Tyro opened up a lot of that community. Opened up the community for a lot of people, like get together that really have that passion, that love for Echo. And thanks to Tyro, there's some coaches there that help these new players. Because at the beginning, it's kind of the tutorial doesn't tell you too much about regrabbing, too much about team communication, too much about not much of a focus on that. But that's where the fun is. That's where the excitement is in Echo. And thanks to Tyro, I've got to meet a lot of new cool people like yourself.
Yeah,
Money
man.
Mitch.
How'd you come across Tyro? How long have you been in Tyro server?
I think I've been in Tyro for like 4 5 months. 5 months
Okay.
into it. Thanks to Doug. Doug, one of the members there, invited me. We were cool friends. We just met at pubs, and he just
Yeah, yeah.
offered an invite, and I was like, sure, I'll take it. And then best decision I've ever made.
Because of
and
the
what people
nature of
say,
this
Echo career.
Echo career. Well, what I was about to say is that with Echo, these kind of communities, just the nature of the way that you, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that when you come into this game, you go into pubs,
Yeah,
you go play pubs, and then you just meet people, like you socialize like that, and then you kind of find out there's communities. But because there's kind of like a chasm, there's a chasm between playing the game and then getting on Discord. And once you've crossed that, Discord is like the hub for the community for Echo. And
for
you
sure.
kind of you have to make your way onto Discord, and then you get into the communities. So in that way, it kind of feels like a bit of like a closed community. But then saying that, Tyro is so open. As long as you're, so they have one rule, which is that you're of a mature age,
For
because
course,
they
of
just
course.
they just want to have like a, just a nice culture. Generally, people are it's kind of true, isn't it? The older you are, and I know that of course there's exceptions. I'm going to offend a lot of kids right now, but
For sure, no,
generally,
I've
yeah,
seen a lot of good kids around, playing in the
yeah,
pubs. They're
100%.
nice, genuinely. Have a lot of fun
But
with them too.
what I was trying to get at is that there is a bit of a gap between the general Echo playing populace. Say, I don't know exactly what the stats are, but say, just for argument's sake, there's 100. I know it's way more than that. But then about 20 by ratio are actually competitive or
Yeah,
involved in kind of communities like that. And I feel like that there's a chasm there. And it's definitely worthwhile to shorten that chasm and get the general populace, people playing pubs, into these communities. Tyro is just one example. I'm sure there's tons of other little communities as well, and they're on Facebook as well. There's not just Discord, but Discord seems
for
to be the
sure.
place to go. But yeah, I feel like there's like a missing piece to the world that is Echo, to the game of Echo, to VR esports in general. There's kind of like I'm kind of rambling right now. I think I'm just saying that there's definitely like an opportunity there. If someone can make that easier, then all of these players are getting frustrated in pubs, because pubs aren't the most nice. When anyone can play a game, it means you end up playing with anyone, and that anyone, it can get quite nasty with
For
like
sure.
anonymity. So I think that's why these communities exist. Anyway, I'm completely rambling. I've derailed this. Back to you. So, are you part of any other like Discord servers or Facebook groups? You seem to respond to that when I mentioned Facebook.
Facebook, yeah. At the beginning, yeah, I joined in the Facebook community for just the questies,
All right.
Since I was a questie, I was like, yeah,
Specific to
I'll
Echo,
join that one.
or
Specific to Echo, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. First, it was a community quest, and then from there was an EchoVR Facebook group, and there was like a lot of like put your name here, and then add these other people that are also interested in the game, which was a nice system. And there was a few chats here and there in the posts, but whenever I went to Discord, it was like with Tyro, because Tyro is the only one I've really engaged in with a lot, and that's where I've seen just like so many tabs that you can put in your input, whether it be off topic, on topic, an Echo Arena, could be some other game, things like that. It's always like it's like a community that is always alive. It's never dead. The server is never dead. It's always alive. There always a whole lot of different people. It's never just the same people.
Are you part of any other community that's not Echo? Are you part of
It's
any
not
other like
Echo.
big Discords or Facebooks, or even just not online in general?
I'm telling you, man, this game just took my took my life. It just like no, 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 no. You come back here. Come back here.
Yeah,
You need
it's
to work on
definitely
this.
it's a very real subculture. which is the
For
Echo,
sure.
like specific to Echo as well. I'm biased because I'm not involved in any other like VR communities that I'm aware of, but Echo,
For sure.
because I'm in it, just feels huge. It's because I'm in it, right? It's really not that big,
Yeah.
but it's
I'll be on.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, how would you describe it? It's just very like just deep.
It's deeply rooted into like. It's like no other game can compare. No.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I used to be a heavy like PC gamer or like a console
Okay.
player. Always like sitting on the couch, playing my game, or sit in my chair, playing my PC games, my 2D games. And once I hopped into VR, like I haven't even touched my my consoles at
Hmm.
all. I haven't played any Steam games at all, only for VR games. And
Hmm.
it's just taken over. VR is taking over my my life. And
What were you doing? So, how long ago was it when you first played on your friend's CV1? Was that years ago? Is this like 2018?
every like years ago, 2018, 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before a little bit of the pandemic, a little bit started, the pandemic started. And then when the pandemic started, I was like, well, I'm just stuck here doing nothing. I'm just still replaying these same old games that I keep on going back and forth. And I'm already getting bored of them. So I was like, yeah. And then I walked in by Walmart and I was like, VR headset. Quest, Oculus. I remember that name. I remember Oculus. So I got it. And that's where that rabbit hole started. And that's where I'm at right now. Stuck in here in Echo VR. Favorite piece of device. And
And
I'm
what
just like,
else? So back then, before this is where I wanted to go with this. Like, what else were you into? Were you quite a hardcore gamer? Were you a PC gamer?
yeah, I was pretty into like a lot of PC games whenever I had like time, done with all the chores, done with all the like the work and everything that were responsibilities that needed to be done. I just hopped in right into my games, enjoyed,
Proper gamer.
de-stress, yeah, yeah. But
What were you playing? Was it competitive games or?
yeah, competitive shooters, racing, basketball. I was into a lot of sports games like basketball,
Okay.
2K, NBA, Live, and but what really attracted me to like VR in general is that you're just not sitting there with a controller or with your mouse and keyboard.
Mm.
Your whole body is almost a control. Of course, you have controllers in your hands, but you usually move your body, and that's what
Mm.
I love about this game too. It really, you know, um, it rewards the people that use their body a whole lot
100%.
more, especially in this game. And I heard a lot of stories too that a lot of people lost a lot of weight, through playing this. But I heard like the most I've heard is like 40 pounds in a month. I was like, damn.
So a really tangible point on that is, I think I mentioned to you on the weekend actually, is squatting. I was saying how I never squat when I play, like because normally I'm playing in the evening, I'm tired, I'm just kind of
Yeah,
swinging my arms around, and then I realized these kids, and I say kids, they're normally like they're teenagers and they're really lanky, they're
for
very
sure.
tall, like 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and they squat, and because they're so tall, their span of their squat is just ridiculous. So they have a massive competitive advantage because when they come across to me, so if I'm trying to defend them, they can just jump or duck around me really easily. And because I'm not using my legs, I'm just kind of stood there swinging my arms around. Yeah, massive advantage. I was like, okay, that was personally that was an unlock for me. I had to be like, okay, I need to squat. So now my stance is generally a bit lower, so I've got a bit of height and a bit of drop to it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, definitely. The more physicality you put into the game, the more competitive advantage you have, which is a massive plus.
for sure. And some of the times you gotta get a little bit creative too. Like how you said like maybe you're like 6'1", and they have like a massive gap length between you, who might be a
Mm.
little shorter, or me, who might be a little shorter than that. And you just got to get creative with the things that you do, like squatting, but also putting your head down to get yourself even lower, and just things
Mm.
like little things like that that you can think of that gets you the competitive edge, and finding those kind of things just makes you just more excited of playing the game more,
Do you
for
play any
sure.
other sports?
I used to play a little bit of soccer, some volleyball was I was really into. I've actually played it on a team.
Nice.
When they have like here locally, in the not in the beaches, in the sand parks of sand, and those are really exciting. And the communication and team, being working together as a team is really what gets you into it, and that's what got me into this game as well. The team communication, the team
Yeah, yeah.
chemistry that you find, especially with certain players that you find them and in, it's like mwah, perfection.
And you stepped up. So our charity team, it's a tournament where we're just given teammates. Like it's very
Yeah,
random. we were matched up, and I suggested it. I said, yeah, Viper, you should definitely be captain. But I said it because you were just so like organized and like you were just ready to step into that role. So do you find yourself in situations like that a lot? Like say back in school projects and stuff, would you be the one to step up and lead the
Yeah,
team?
most likely. Mostly because I get excited about it. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get onto it. Start now.
So
But
does that happen
yeah,
elsewhere in your life as well, like in your career or
um,
whatever?
to be honest with you, it's the other way around. Like, with Echo, I feel like it changed my life quite a bit.
Okay.
With Echo, I got a little bit more social, a little bit more talkative. When I used to be a
Mm.
little bit more shy and innocent back then, it's
Innocent.
opened my yeah. Hey.
Why'd you say innocent?
Shh, I'm talking about it. No,
Okay.
but it has really opened up my life, my communication skills for sure.
Hmm.
I'm able to talk a little bit more fluently with other people, more openly with other
Mm.
people,
Yeah, yeah.
and just been more of a help in my life, and can't thank Echo enough for that, for sure.
Whereabouts did you grow up?
Where what?
Whereabouts? Like what? I'm assuming you're US.
U.S. Yeah,
Yeah. Whereabouts?
U.S.
Are you
U.S.
West Coast?
Oklahoma, Central.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said
Yes.
Central, because I have no idea what that is.
I know you're in London, right?
That is correct. I am in
UK,
London.
London. How is it over there? How's the Echo popularity over there?
So in the EU, probably 80%, around 80%, give or take, is English.
Really?
Is from England. I don't know if
Mm.
that's just like popularity of the technology, or if
Mm.
that's just I don't really know. I'm sure there's 100 different reasons for why things work out, but it just happens to be about 80% of the competitive scene is English. There's a few German, French. There's a whole like French server. There's an Italian server. There's actually an Italian league as well.
Really?
There's an Italian like competitive league of Echo players. That's pretty cool, right? It's
That is pretty cool.
League Italia. That's so cool.
League Italia.
Uh,
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
man.
sketchy. League Italia.
League Italia.
League Italia. Is that what you said?
Yeah, League Italia.
Sounds pretty catchy. Like
Oh,
it.
catchy. I thought you said sketchy. I was like, what?
Sketchy. No.
Yeah, it sounds catchy, right? It sounds cool.
It
League
does.
Italia. So I hope that like I think they just started their first season of that. That was cool because I started hanging out with an Italian player, and he just kind of introduced me to that world. And the problem is they all speak Italian, and I don't speak Italian. So on their server, it's just all written in Italian. It's a little bit difficult to follow, but still, it's
Damn.
just nice to see.
Yeah, so they can make fun of you and you won't know, right?
I have no idea.
Oh. No,
Nice.
but yeah, it's glad that there's more like, other communities, like you said. It's not just one, it's scattered all around. Different communities for what people like and, for languages as well. For some might be just a language barrier if it was just one community, but luckily there's
So,
multiple to compensate for
how
that.
did you find? So I might get a little bit personal here, but
Go for it.
you spoke about when you were younger being a bit more shy and like less social and more innocent, as you say. How's that journey been? And is it just Echo? Or is it just like life in general? You just changed.
Life in general, yeah, life in general, I've changed quite a bit. I've been able to do more things that I would have missed out on for sure, and
Yeah.
I honestly would have regretted it if I didn't. And because I know it's just a game, but this game's does quite an effect a lot on me, and not because I'm addicted to it, but I'm kind of, but it's really affect myself in my life in a positive way, and in a way that I can be happy, in a way that can have friends that I can laugh with, not having to, especially during the pandemic. The pandemic, no one can go out, everybody stayed at home. A lot of people got depressed, and that's where a lot of headsets got into gaming too. A lot of people got into VR, that's Echo, a lot of social games. And I guess they just, just like me, changed their lives, made them happier, and yeah.
Yeah, the pandemic is obviously an absolutely horrible, like, global event. However, like the two sides of the coin, I was saying this to someone else. For 2 years, the world stopped spinning. The world just stopped, like on the outside, but on the inside, in terms of tech like stock just went right up. Yeah. So everything, the internet sped up. The world slowed down, but the internet sped up. So now we're coming out of it 2 years later. It's like everyone's coming back to their life. Okay, just picking up the pieces where they were. Okay, this is what I was doing in 2019. Okay, now I'm back.
Yeah.
But we're coming to the end of 2022. The Quest 2 came out. They're now like it's Connect in like a week, 11th of October.
Yep.
There's competitors lurking about. They might be bringing out immersive technology, AR, VR. And that's just VR. There's also AI. There's also NFTs, blockchain. There's all of these like internet, just next generation technology coming along, Web 3.0, this kind of stuff that's just been in the background. It's been evolving, and now we're seeing it manifest. And it's kind of weird. Like it's a bit of like we're now living in the future. Everything we thought was on the horizon. Oh, 2022, that's so far away. Don't worry, 2023, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Like it's now. 2023 is like 3 months away.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it just went. It's like a time gap, but just really quickly, really fast. Like time flew by that I wasn't even noticing. Like for
So
me
you
personally,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, it just like flew by so quickly that being in like this reality like changed, like made just time go by quicker. And I think without it, I think I would have just been stuck there. Like time would have been like slow for me personally.
Have you been to any lands?
I've not been into lands, but I'm really excited to go into one pretty soon.
Which one?
Hopefully.
Nepal?
Maybe Tyro land, maybe Nepal land.
Nice. Yeah, I'm planning to be at the Tyro one.
Tyro one?
Yeah, Tyro.
Where's that one gonna be
Depends
at?
when it is. I
Did they
don't know.
announce anything yet?
I generally don't know. I'm not like,
Generally don't know.
I literally know nothing. I know there's gonna be one, and I know that it was expensive for Talk to. I know Talk sponsored the first one quite well, quite generously. So if it's gonna happen, it's kind of up to Talk, right?
For sure.
If he's the
Talk's
one
the
that's gonna
man.
put all the effort into it. He really is. He's a really nice guy, and like meeting him in person, I realized that as well.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like in Tyro, but not fully in it. I was just doing like some little coaching stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I met people at Tyro Land, and you'll love it, Viper. If it's Tyro, if it's a Nepa, wherever you end up going, it's just such a different experience. So one of my probably like of my life, but particularly in the world of Echo and that part of my life, is being at a LAN. This was in England, in Bournemouth, playing with these kids that I play with all the time. I say kids, like some of them are adults as well. Like, don't clip that. But we had this competition, a 2-day LAN tournament event. In the evening, after everything, we had the floor. We could do whatever we wanted. So everyone got their headsets out. We all connected to the LAN build, and we just played. And the best experience is to score on someone, lift your headset up, and then look at them, make fun of them. And people did it. People did it to me as well. But the joy you have.
I bet.
Yeah, that was a really good experience. And yeah, if any like competitive players end up watching this, go to a LAN. You have to go to a LAN. LAN is like, yeah, it just really makes it real. Because even like we're in a virtual space right now, and like you could argue this is real. Like I actually am talking to you. I'm seeing a 3D image. But that leads to whole like philosophical arguments of like what is real and stuff. But to actually real life, to be with these people that you spoke to, and that's another really surreal thing, is you'll meet friends that you've met in Tyro or whatever. You'll meet them in real person. You'll hear their voice, and you know their voice really well, but their avatar is like their human body.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. Their human body, to you, it'll just look like an avatar. You'll be like, wait,
sure.
What? Talk? No, wait, talk. Why are you in that body? What's going on? It's the most surreal experience.
It is. Yeah, to the point where you can see them and you can put a face on that, that voice. It's like, pretty interesting. And I can't wait to go to one. I've been really excited. I heard a lot of good things about it. Lands. And like recently there was a Redshift one, I believe so. One called Redshift over there.
Don't know much about that.
I heard that was a really good one. That was a really good one from what I heard from a lot of my other Echo friends that I've heard and saying like, oh, that was amazing.
Did you consider Toronto?
I was considering Toronto, but I was like, I got pretty busy with personal things. So I was like, I couldn't go.
Also, you're injured as well, right? Your throwing arm is out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yet you're
My
still
throwing on
competing.
my dominant right arm, but I'm too addicted. 2 weeks after surgery, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna wait. I'm in it.
You
Put on
gotta
the
be
headset.
careful, man.
Started practicing my left hand, my dominant.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. How
yeah.
did
That's
you
what my
injure
girlfriend
it? Don't mind
says.
me asking.
Be careful. So I work for like security, tech security, and I was running
Okay.
some wires, and one of the pieces of wood snapped from below me. It shouldn't have snapped, so it was like a really bad piece of wood, and it snapped in half, and then I fell like 10, 12 feet.
Oh my
I'm not
god.
sure how much that is in meters per se,
No,
but
no. Yeah.
and then straight into concrete, my elbow, straight into
Wow.
concrete, and it just like shattered it. Psh.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well,
and
lucky you fell that way then, rather than like head first or something.
right, it could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been worse. And right now I'm just recuperating, and it's been going well. Things been going well. Things been going great, and been hanging in there. It is
What's
quite a.
your what's
Uh-huh.
your plan? Well, I was going to change the subject. I was going to say, what's like your plans for Echo in general? Where do you see Echo like in the next couple of years? Do you? It sounds like you're going to be playing for years.
Oh yeah,
You're heavy into this right now.
really into it. Like unless they make an Echo VR 2.
Yeah. Do you think that'll be a
I
thing, in your opinion?
I mean, possibly with hardware moving upwards, there's got to be some
Yeah.
support to like maybe they may have to revamp a whole lot of things, and by that point they might think, let's just make a new one. Let's make one. We'll keep this one as an old one as a relic, and then
Mm.
we'll start with the new one.
What are you hoping for in terms of like technology, either from Meta or elsewhere?
So technology, I'm hoping for obviously better tracking, more
Right.
of a 360, especially when you put your hands behind the back. You lose
Yeah.
a lot of tracking there. So hopefully that will be more of a thing, and maybe a little bit more lighter for sure too, because I know like moving around with this bulky headset for right now, it's not
Mm.
as bulky as the first one. It's not as heavy, but for sure you can get into like a lot of damage with your neck by the way you just move it around, especially in
Mm.
competitive scene. It will, could cause a lot of damage. There has
Yeah,
been a
you're
lot of
very
reports about
conscious of
that.
this kind of stuff, right? Because I remember
Yeah,
I came like 10 minutes late to the training, the first training you did on the weekend, and you had everyone like working their shoulders. You had
for
them.
sure.
Did you do neck stuff as well?
Yeah, next stuff. Before we
Yeah.
get there, yeah, some next stuff because it is a sport. Like
Mm.
you move your body a lot, and because it is a sport, and by how much you move your body, your arms, your legs,
Mm.
your whole body, it's your neck. It's like you have to be careful. You have to realize that although you're just in a game, you're not invincible. You're still using your real body, and
Is
you
there
got to take
anything
care of
that
it.
any like aches and pains you had that surprised you when you started playing like non-stop and not sleeping?
Definitely my arms from shooting and regrabbing. Definitely my arms, my
Like
neck from
forearm,
turning.
wrist,
Yeah, my
or
forearm,
okay?
wrist, all of that. A lot of back pain for sure.
Yeah, I've been getting
From
back pain.
bending, warping it
Yeah.
around, side to side, forward, back a little bit. Um, a lot of pain there, and realize that I need to stretch before games. I need to, you know, move it around first. Get it prepped, get it warmed up my body before I start some actual intensive games.
And how about echo elbow? Have you ever had that? Like tennis elbow?
Akava.
Echo elbow. It's tennis elbow where you're constantly throwing, right? Moving that joint
Oh yeah,
starts to
I'm
give
working
you a
on
bit
it.
of pain.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I think it's a pain.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're into VR in general because this whole conversation's been very echo, right? Other people
Yes.
we end up start talking about like VR in general, or technology, or other stuff. Is there any other like interests? Have you considered like career options in that direction? It seems like you're quite happy with your career direction though at the moment.
No, yeah, for sure. For where I'm at right now, it's pretty happy where I'm. But not doesn't mean that can't change in the future with things and
Yeah,
opportunities that
100%.
might pop up. When you see an opportunity, take it. If it's
What
something you
kind of
love, take it.
thing? Is there anything that you've like considered? Have you done any like YouTube or anything?
I've not done any YouTube. I've not. I've told a lot of people like that asked me, yeah, you should do some TikToks, some Instagram posts, or some YouTube
Yeah. Do you consume
shorts.
any? Are you
I
watching Echo
consume a lot.
stuff on TikTok?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't use TikTok personally. I use a little more Instagram, some YouTube Shorts,
Who do you
YouTube in
see on
general.
YouTube Shorts for Echo?
YouTube Short. Just just anybody. Not no one
Okay.
specifically. No one I
Yeah, yeah.
specifically see constantly. But some big creators that at the beginning when I was like searching how to get better in Echo. I was like Flux. I forgot how to pronounce his name.
Rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of his videos and some other people's videos. I'm like, good points right there. And I took some of them.
Who do you go to for tips on Echo?
Tips
If
on
you're like
Echo.
stuck on a certain thing, whose name would you search?
Hmm. Remember, I was searching some T-Tao Gaming. For
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
I've looked him up and he had a lot of really good drills and sessions. Venom was also one of the big ones too.
Yeah.
Of course, sure, everybody, a lot of people know him. I'm not sure about the EU though, how popular his name is, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
no,
Yeah, he was
Venom.
pretty. He
Yeah,
was pretty
everyone
big
knows
over here
Venom.
and in there. Good. Yeah, he did a lot of not just drills as an individual, but more team drills as well.
Hmm.
And those really got me into like yeah, let's get into that VRML thing. That's good because I've like seen like those little sign posters they have in the lobby, and a lot of chats about it in the Discord group, Facebook group. And it's like yeah, join it. It's a good opportunity. It's always good, have a lot of laughs, but also really get you more into it, more invested into the game, and more better. And the more things you know about the game, the more better you can be. The more you're
Hmm.
gonna be more intrigued to keep playing it.
Is there anything like technical in the game that you're working on at the moment? Like maybe throw
Technical,
in or regrabs or something, or
for
maybe
sure.
strategic.
For right now, I'm trying to relearn a lot of the things that I've already learned because since my dominant hand is my right hand, but now it's
Yeah.
busted. I'm having to learn a lot of shooting
But
again better with my
that's going to
left
be
hand,
amazing for you
regrabbing a
though.
little
On the
bit.
other end of it, when you get your right hand back, being ambidextrous. Like no one does that. No one learns that in
No,
Echo, right? You're going to have a massive advantage.
for sure, for sure. That'd be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
You'll have people guessing. You'll go in with your right hand, switch to your left, and shoot, and they can't save
exactly.
it.
Yeah, and there's some like certain spots, certain locations where like you're about to get bombarded by so many people, and you have it on your like non-dominant hand, so you're gonna have to shoot it that way. There's so many situations like that, and and some people, because they're only dominant with their other hand, one hand, they may have it make a sloppy shot. So I'm hoping.
What do you think of inversions? Do you find yourself going upside down?
Oh, a lot. It
Yeah.
opens up like a new world. Like it was like a entirely new game. Once I learned about going inverted and how I got better at getting inverted, it made it so much more fun. Made me so many open spots where I could have shot, and most shots that I usually take uninverted, when I went in inverted, it made it so much more easier. Especially like bounce shots, like some like
Yeah.
a boop. If you go inverted, it makes it easier shooting down than it is shooting upwards.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And things like that, little things like that made it so much more fun, much more easier to play, much more easier
Interesting.
to do little trick shots, bounce shots.
And you're throwing, so you're relearning how to throw with your offhand.
Pretty much.
How are you with settings? Are you the kind of player that likes to tinker with settings, or do you leave them just default?
At the beginning, in my dominant, I didn't touch it. I touched it a little bit. I didn't like it, so I turned it all off with my dominant. Now with my non-dominant, it's not as strong, so I
Right.
needed that extra like wrist angle to increase that speed of that throw.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm having to learn that wrist angle because I want that speed. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
need to with my right hand. I do with my left hand. So I'm having to get used to that wrist angle. For sure.
I've very recently done the same, but with my dominant hand, right? I just realized I'm not hitting like above 17, like at best.
Yeah.
So I just went for it. I went for I did predictive, and then I did 45-degree at wrist angle, and then
Gotcha.
I played with something else as well. And I've picked something and I've just left it. Right, okay, this is all. I'm not allowed to change it again. I'm gonna see how that goes.
A lot
And
of
maybe
people
change
have
it
like,
later.
an argument with using predictive. No one likes using predictive.
Oh,
Because
did
it's
I
more
say
of a,
predictive? No, I literally
yeah.
meant the other one. I get them mixed up all the time.
What was the other one?
Latest sensor data. That one.
Latest sensor data, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I meant.
And it's like, no predictive. No, 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 no. You turn that off. No, no, no. We don't do those.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Cool. So any other like VR games you're into in general, just to take it out of Echo? Is there, or is it literally just Echo? You come on, play Echo. If you
No,
fresh
like I
installed
said-
your headset, you'd install Echo and nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been multiple new games coming out. There's been multiple like games that I get into, but I always like seem to come back to this one always. So that just to have fun.
Boneworks, Bone Labs. Have you ever played that?
Bone Labs. I did buy and got into it a little bit. The physics is awesome. It's great. It's just like sometimes in other games like they don't incorporate that kind of physics, which in some cases having physics there makes it feel more alive, makes it feel more real. But sometimes it also gets in the way. like what I've noticed in this game,
Gets in the
Bone
way.
Lab, yeah, it gets
Yeah.
in the way. Like like opening a door, that becomes such a hassle to open, especially when you have to open it this way and your body's in the way. You try to move to this side, you still can't because your foot is in the way, so you have to move a little bit more to the side.
Right.
So physics can get in the way, and sometimes
Oh,
it's
so
nice
in
to have
Bone
it.
Labs, it like,
Sometimes it
oh
doesn't.
no, actually, someone did tell me about that. It like tracks your body, right? You put your body
Yeah,
type into the game. Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Are you big into shooters? Do you play any Onward or Pavlov?
I played Onward and Pavlov, and I've really loved those games too. It's just like finding more of a being social in those kind of games isn't as easy as it is here because you're always constantly kind of together. You're always constantly kind of communicating. In Onward and Pavlov, you don't typically find those kind of people there. You typically
Right.
just see enemy, shoot, next one. But I'm sure
That's
there's some
definitely
groups that are made from there. But
yeah, 100%. But
but
Echo
games like
is
the
definitely more social in that way, right? I
more
mean, you
social,
come
more
in, you have a
talkative.
social lobby, and
Yep,
the majority of players, like at any moment, the majority of players are in a social lobby
for
rather
sure.
than a game, like statistically.
Yeah,
So it does say something about the way like these communities have evolved, like the social side of this game. There's definitely something there. It's a combination of like things being done right, right? This game.
yeah,
It's the locomotion as well as the community, the social aspect of it. And then the fact that you're throwing a disc rather than like shooting someone, you're
yeah.
just dunking on them.
Rather than shooting someone like you just you and you alone with other groups that go wherever they want to go, trying to get the same objective, yes, but they're all choosing a different path to get to it. And they're in this game, it's rewarded that you use your team, use the passes, use your team as a boost. It rewards players for working together, and it's not like you can't do it in Echo. No, you can't do it in Onward or Pavlov. It's just more easier to do it here in Echo. It's
Mm.
more of a pick up and play and be more just talk, be more communicative, and just makes the game more interesting, more fun.
So, I mean, it sounds like you're just non-stop in the game, like playing for hours a day, right?
For sure.
Like any given day, you're probably in for a couple hours. How was
Yeah.
it when you had your injury and so obviously the injury would have been horrible, but
Oh yeah.
I imagine you would have had to take a few weeks off.
Yeah, I did. It sucked not being able to get onto the game that I love, game that I have fun with. But luckily, I had
Yeah,
a few friends. I had my girlfriend taking care of me, keeping me company, and didn't feel
nice.
as lonely. Didn't feel as left out in so much of the things that make this game really fun to do, to play with, to get into.
Is your girlfriend playing Echo?
She is. She is. She's really into it.
Okay. I
That's
was
actually
wondering how
where.
that
It's actually
relationship
where
still
we met.
exists.
Actually. Yeah.
Oh, no way! That's
It's
awesome.
really way. Yeah. Met in a game. Tyro
Yeah.
first, and then Tyro at event, and then I looked at her. She looked at me.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, Viper. Oh, you naughty man. So
No, but,
I'm really curious. Have you met up in real life? Do you live local?
no, she lives in the coast side. I'm more in the central side, so it's pretty far away, like 15 hours away. But we are actually thinking of getting together real soon here in a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How would you do it? Would you meet in the middle or would you fly out to her?
But her flying to me, back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's cute, man. I wish you the best for that. That's awesome.
Thank you, for sure.
And I imagine if you end up going Tyro, you'll go together as well. So you'll meet there.
Oh yeah,
Tyro land, that is.
for sure.
Nice. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to like just generally chat about, or I've got a couple like closing questions, but I mean like the floor's yours really. If there's anything you want to plug, I know you don't do YouTube or anything, but
If there's anything I want to plug? Oh,
your innocence is gone.
and my innocence is gone. What? How's my innocence gone? What do you mean by that?
What? Oh, I thought you were just doing an innuendo.
Oh, in my window? Oh, really?
Don't worry. Let's move on. It's
uh,
all good now.
Okay.
All right, fuck it. I'll ask you some questions. So, like, I was asking you about like future technology that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
Like, where do you see VR esports going? Like 5 years time, 10 years time? What do you think it looks like? Where do you see yourself in it? What kind of like hardware are you hoping for? Do you expect to see? Do you see like any other games coming up? Because this is something that I think about quite a bit. Like, what is the life? What is the life like span of Echo? Does Echo get replaced by something else? Does like a Rocket League type VR game come up, and like everyone jumps on that, and like that's like the pioneering in VR esport? Or is it just Echo? Does Echo stand the test of time? Gets a bit of an upgrade with an Echo VR 2 at some point?
The way I see it is like there's already been multiple attempts in trying to replicate kind of this kind of same like feel, this kind of same kind of game. Not the same game mode, but more like trying to get more of a big group playing into this gaming, be on it constantly. But I've seen so many games like fail in that retrospect where they're alive for a bit. Like there's a lot of hype in it at the beginning, but then after a
Yeah.
while it just starts dying and dying and dying and dying, and then support just gets lost. And
In
then with
VR
hard
or just generally, just like multiplayer games?
in games in multiplayer games, especially kind of wanting to get into the esports game. Knock, I heard is a really good one that a
Yep.
lot of people are loving and liking, and
Have
I
you played
haven't
it
gotten to
yourself?
try. I haven't played it myself. I'm actually tempted to play it myself because I heard a lot of really good reviews. I heard a lot of really good things about it, and hardware-wise, I'm really hoping hardware gets up to a point where visually looks nice. The refresh rate's a little bit more better to get more of an advantage. Tracking gets improved substantially, hopefully. But with hardware, how Echo is a little bit more, owned by Oculus now Meta, with
Yeah.
Ready at Dawn being the little son of of Meta.
Yeah.
It all really depends on how Oculus or Meta. It's really hard to get back to the name because I really love the Oculus name,
Yeah,
but
me
it's
too.
Meta now. It's Meta now. It's up to them how they want to go forward with hardware, and hopefully with competition, like just like any other company with competition, they want to improve. They want to keep improving to get over that competition.
Hmm.
And I'm really excited because I heard Pico Neo or the Pico 4 over there in the Europe
Yep.
and on that side of the world. And it's not going to come over here to NA, or not any
Oh,
plans have been
has it not?
spoken yet.
Is it not out?
For
Oh,
what
I
I've
didn't even
heard,
realize.
there hasn't been any announcement of them
Interesting.
bringing it over to the NA. I don't know if it's because of Meta, kind of a little similar, or like
Hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I know Meta has a little bit more issues with some of the governments over there on that side of the end. So that's where
Possibly. But
that's where I
Pico
think that's where
is.
Pico's trying to like take over that little community. Like, oh,
I
Meta
didn't know
can't
it
get
was a
into it, so
European.
I'm gonna
I
take
thought it
over
was
that.
wasn't it a Chinese
Chinese, yeah,
hard
European on that
manufacturer, right?
Europe side, Asia side, yeah,
Okay.
on that end of the world. Over here
Oh
on
yeah,
the
I don't know the politics. I don't know why that is.
yeah,
I mean, I've watched it from afar. I don't really know much about Pico. I might have
gotcha,
had a few headsets, but they're generally quite. I mean, just Meta has such a head start, don't they? They've
for sure.
just put so much energy and resources into building phenomenal hardware. It's just knocked everyone else out. No one can keep up.
For
So if
sure, but
someone can keep up, it's definitely worth like having a look and seeing what comes of that. How the
for
landscape
sure.
changes.
No, Pico seems like a big, kind of company, especially now that they're taken over by TikTok, another big company
Oh,
right there.
wow!
So they
I
have
didn't know
like
that.
they have a lot of money to spend, and they have a lot of money to
Oh,
compete.
snap!
And yeah, so because Meta isn't so big in that area, Pico's trying to take advantage of that and get to them first and
Mm.
swarm with their products, so that way they have a big
Oof.
sale over there in Europe or over there Asia, Europe, and
Mm.
not so much where Meta has a lot of control over here in the NA. So
Interesting. Are there any other like I was going to say hardware? Any other hardware that you're aware of that's coming up?
there's a lot. And I'm just saying like those two are the ones that are more accessible. Other ones are
Yeah.
more expensive, more hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
more PC focused, more like heavily focused on visuals and more corporate kind of play. But those two are the big ones right now, trying to get to the more consumer market, the more trying to keep their hardware lower but inaccessible for everyone
Are you playing
to
any
use.
PC VR?
I actually currently am. Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
just got off playing Lone Echo, because I wanted to finish that story and then get into
Okay.
Lone Echo 2, and it's been visually
Okay.
spot on.
And how are you enjoying it, like Lone Echo? Because it's a few hours long, isn't it? Right? It's like 10
Yeah,
hours and a half, something like that.
yeah. The
How,
story. Yeah, the story is like nothing I've ever seen before. It's it's like
Nice.
it's starting to become like a masterpiece for me, and that's what I got from a lot of people. That it's really good. It's a really good masterpiece of a story, visually really good. Um,
Nice.
but I'm really getting into it. I'm digging it, and I'm really loving how the story is unfolding so far.
Nice. I look forward to hearing what you think of the second one as well. How
Sure.
you find that? Yeah, because I
you
didn't
know.
basically I started the second one, and then just life, everything comes up, and I just haven't got back to playing it again, and now like it's uninstalled on my PC because I changed PC. I know there's all these barriers to entry suddenly get in the way.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, there's effort.
Have you played the
But,
first one?
yeah, I finished the first one.
Okay,
I
was
made
like,
sure to like get
you
through it.
crazy, you crazy. Started the second one.
Oh, I bet 90% of EchoVR players haven't touched Lone Echo.
No.
People don't know that story. They think, what? There's like another game? What?
What? No way.
All right, man. Let's close this up. I've got one more question to ask you.
For sure, go
So,
for
are
it.
you aware of Elon Musk's chip that he wants to? It's a solution that you put into your head, and then the internet is now inside your brain.
Yes.
Are you going to take the chip if it's offered to you right now? He said, "Here you go. It's free. We're going to set you up. You can now think your way into the internet."
Think your way into the internet. With that would, I would probably be more of a, not the first guinea pig per se. I want to see how it goes with other people, because it is a pretty big thing. Having more like not just the internet in you, but more corporate, a lot of corporate in your mind, seeing what your day-to-day lives do. Because we know, like, with smartphones, they can pick up everything. They know us better than most than most people, for sure. And having these big corporations being able to instantly plug into our brains into that chip, it's a little privacy concerning, but I bet it'd be a lot of fun though. And over time, as more you see a little bit more adapting, more like maybe new generations of it come a little bit maybe more safer, maybe more more features in it, then it'll become more of a starting to become more of a mainstream thing, and then that's probably when I'll start picking it up. If it does ever become to be that big, for sure.
Your answer's yes, but not yet.
Not yet.
Nice. All right, bro. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We're going to end it there.
Sounds good. Podcast name is.
I'll start recording again. So I have Viper here. Viper just had a go at me for not having an outro, so I'm going to have an outro now. My name's Moneymish26. This has been the 5th ever episode of Top of the Pop. We're in Top of the Popcorn. This is Top of the Pop. We have Viper, Phobia. He's been amazing. I hope you enjoyed that episode. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.